What's up, everybody? This is your boy Miko Cooley. Today, we're going to talk about my first mescaline experience, specifically mescaline extracted from San Pedro. Um, yeah, man, let's get into it. So, this was about 4 days ago. Um, I was basically collecting my mescaline that I had extracted and left to dry. So essentially, I did a mescaline citrate extraction, and without getting too much into it, I extracted the mescaline, and there's a liquid that's left over. That's a liquid with all of the cactus alkaloids and some citric acid in it. And essentially, what I did was I let that water evaporate to leave all of the mescaline, the crystals, the mescaline citrate. So when that was all done evaporating, I went and I took a razor blade and I scraped up all the little crystals and all the goop. Um, yeah, so I scraped up all the crystals, all the goop. I got about 2 grams, whatever. That doesn't matter. What ended up happening, um, was that I saw that there was some crystals, some leftover alkaloids in the pan that just wasn't worth really scraping up with the razor. So I went ahead and I got some filtered water and I poured it in the pan, took a butter knife and started like scraping it up around and like stirring it up, trying to get it to basically dissolve into the water. And I drank this. It didn't taste very good, which is pretty, you could expect that with mescaline. Mescaline doesn't taste very good, especially San Pedro. Um, although I've heard peyote's worse, but mescaline don't taste very good. So I basically just drank it down, diluted it a little bit so I didn't have to taste too much of the flavor. And yeah, man, we were off. So I went into this thinking that this was going to be like a microdose. Like I thought I was going to essentially like feel it slightly, but be able to function, be able to do my stuff. So I had some errands to run, and I went and did those. Um, man, man, 3 hours later, I was feeling incredible. I was feeling on top of the world. Um, yeah, man, I was feeling good, and then it got to a point where I was kind of like feeling a little too good, and I was getting worried. Like, damn, maybe I shouldn't be driving. Maybe I should take care of what I need to do quickly and go home. And that's what I did. So basically, to run through what this feeling was like was very energetic. It is like your classic psychedelic in the sense that you are feeling a little electric. You have a good body feel going on, and the visuals were there for sure. It just wasn't. I could tell from the way that my body was feeling that this was like a pretty light. It was like a light to moderate dose, so I was getting a taste of what mescaline, can be like. Like, I guess a good example would be like maybe a 1.5 gram trip of psilocybin mushrooms. And yeah, this had me feeling good. This mescaline had me feeling good. I'm honestly kind of surprised that this residue that I had in my pan was making me feel, the way I was feeling, because I was looking online, like a typical dose of this mescaline citrate is around 350 milligrams. So I was definitely taking way less than that. But regardless, I felt great. Yeah, but it was a very, very energetic experience. I wanted to move around. I wanted to do hyperactive things. I wanted to listen to hyperactive music. It wasn't at this point. It wasn't very like deep spiritually, but it got there later. It definitely had its deep moments and its lessons to be learned. Um, so basically, fast forward, we all decided to go walk to the park. Um, there's a nice little park. It's got this big old hill, some nature and stuff. It's a really cool place. I think this place really complemented the experience that I was having because just the whole vibe. But it's like you can kind of tell that this park, whatever was going on, they were going for like a 80s vibe type feel because there's like a an ice rink there too, and I really enjoyed that. I feel like it complemented the trip nicely because yeah, man, something about it. It just felt like modern era, like it felt like I was living in a time before phones existed, even though I was living in a time that it's such a weird thing. I've never really had that with any type of psychedelic, like feeling like I was in a different time period, but I genuinely felt like I was in like the 90s or the 80s or something, just like a different time period. I don't know if that's because this drug was more popular during that time and the drug was like, influencing design and architecture and stuff like that, but I don't know, that's a stretch. That's reading into it a little too much, but I thought it was pretty cool. It made me feel like I was in the good old days, even though I never experienced them. But essentially, we got walking. We got enjoying some nature. Um yeah, and the whole vibe wasn't like super duper like personal like life lesson type thing. It was very much of like a opening experience and like kind of just getting me out of my head, which makes sense because they call the San Pedro cactus Wachuma, which means to sever one's head. And this is basically a testament to how the cactus, gets you out of your head and gets you more into your body. And I really do feel like that's an accurate statement because that's how I was feeling. I was feeling very very confident in myself, high esteem. I didn't really have much to worry about, even just being in public. It was a very social experience, and that might have been dependent on the dose, but yeah, it was very nice. Something like mushrooms, I wouldn't want to go. Like, I'd wanna go outside, but I wouldn't necessarily wanna go where people are and, like, be, witnessed by other people. Like, I'd wanna be in seclusion. I wanna be tapped into my own self. It's not a very I'm only speaking for myself, but it's not a very social, um, psychedelic for me, which, the mescaline, at least at this dose, was. And I do want to try higher doses and see what the deeper states really have to offer with Wachuma, with San Pedro, because this was a very very unique experience. I've never felt anything like it. Um, but yeah, let's get into the visuals. So the visuals were very light for any psychedelic, but they had their own unique characteristics. One being that, um, like the visual space, some people call it like hyperspace, like they characterize the visuals that people get from psychedelics, and some people call it hyperspace. I'll say the hyperspace visuals were looking very similar to the rest of the psychedelics. This is something I've been noticing. The only real difference is with acid. Acid's a little bit more of like a robotic, um, almost like spaceship type thing. Like that, those are the type of visuals I get. But with like mushrooms and DMT and mescaline in this case, they all kind of had that same visual field. They had these druid like nature undulating type things, right? Like these, they just look like it just looked like the natural world, but like the essence of it, if that makes sense. If you've experienced any like sort of psilocybin trip or DMT trip, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the most interesting thing about the visuals for sure was the colors, the vibrancy was times 10. Like I'm telling you, I felt like I had the vision of a newborn baby, like an infant. Like I was seeing things for the first time ever again. It was an incredible experience. Some of the colors that I was seeing were, these beautiful hues of green and pink, some yellow. Those were the main colors that really contributed to the trip, but there were some blues and stuff. But oh my goodness, the vibrancy was incredible. This is one of probably the most beautiful psychedelics, even though the visuals aren't super intense. Very beautiful, very unique. I really loved it, honestly. Just the combined aspect of the increased energy, the heightened mind state, the heightened visual acuity. Yeah, this is an incredible psychedelic. I'm excited to try it again. Maybe a higher dose. See what happens. Yeah, it was beautiful. But yeah, that basically sums up my trip. Yeah, all we really did was just go to the park, and we just listened to some music, enjoyed the trees, the nature a little bit, and went home. But yeah, it was a beautiful trip. That's all I got to say. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll be making more videos soon.